This is Saxon Algebra 1, 3rd edition, lesson 76, and this lesson is about consecutive integers. Consecutive meaning one right after the other. And you can see on the number line, it goes consecutively, and each one increases by 1. So consecutive numbers are all going to increase by 1. So if 1 were the first one, if n equaled 1, then 2 here would be n plus 1. 3 would be n plus 2, 1 plus 2, and then 4 would be n plus 3. So that's how we're going to set these problems up. This first problem says find 3 consecutive integers such that the sum of the first and third is 146. So let's let x represent the first integer, x plus 1 will represent the next integer, and x plus 2 the third integer. Our problem says the sum of the first and third, so that would be x plus 2 is equal to 146. I simply combine my like terms. X plus x is 2x, plus 2 equals 146. Then I go on to solve this equation, and I find that x is equal to 72. So if x is 72, then the next consecutive integer would be 73 and then 74. And that is going to be how we work these problems. Really, really simple. This problem says find 3 consecutive integers such that twice the sum of the first two is 2 less than 3 times the third. Sounds like a lot, but if you break it down one thing at a time, it's not. So twice the sum tells us we're going to add something. What are we adding? The first two, which would be n and n plus 1. We're going to add those. Twice the sum of that is 2 less than, so if I want to make it equal, if this side is 2 less than this, I'm going to have to add 2 to this to make them equal. So it's 2 less than 3 times the third integer, which we're representing as n plus 2. Once you get it set up, guys, it's really no different than solving any other equation. The trick is in getting it set up correctly. So here I'm going to I've added my like terms. Here I'm going to distribute, and then I get 4n plus 2 equals 3n plus 6. Then I'm going to get everything on the side where it belongs. Here I've got 4n. I added these two 2's. Plus 4 equals 3n plus 6. Move the 4 over here, and this 3n, I'm going to subtract 3n, bring it over here, and I find out that n is simply equal to 6 minus 4, which is 2. So then the 3 integers would be 2, 3, and 4. This one says find 4 consecutive integers such that 6 times the sum of the first and fourth is 26 less than 10 times the third. Now in the other one, I would have added 26 here if it's 26 less than. The other thing I can do is I can subtract 26 from this side to keep it equal, to make them equal. So then I simply substitute in everything, all the correct integers. 6 times the sum of the first and fourth, which would be this one and this one, n plus 3, equals 26 less than what? 10 times the third, which is n plus 2. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. I get 2n plus 3. Then I'm going to do my distributive property. 12n plus 18 equals 10n plus 20 minus 26. and then break it on down. 12n plus 18 equals 10n minus 6. I'm going to move this 10n over here and this 18 over here, and then I find that 2n is equal to negative 24. Divide by 2, n is equal to negative 12. If my first integer is a negative number, I'm going to need to remember that I go right on the number line when I add 1. So my numbers will seemingly get smaller even though they're getting larger. So it would not be negative 12, negative 13, negative 14, negative 15. That would be incorrect. So the correct answer would be negative 12, negative 11, negative 10, and negative 9. Okay, on your practice problems, A says find 3 consecutive integers such that the sum of the first and third is 142. All right, 3 would be n plus 1, and n plus 2. We need a sum of the first and the third, so that would be n plus 2 is equal to 142. When I combine my n's over here, I get 2n plus 2 equals 142. Subtract the 2, 2n equals 140. Divide by 2, n is equal to 70. So my 3 integers would be 70, 71, 72. Remember that to get the answer correct, you need to list all 3 that it asked for. Okay, this one says find 4 consecutive integers. So we're going to use n plus 1, n plus 2, and n plus 3, such that 8 times something, the sum of something, the sum of what? The first and the third is 40 greater than, so this side is 40 greater than, so to make it equal on both sides, I will have to subtract 40 from this side. Now it is equal to 10 times the fourth. Keep that in parentheses because that 10 will distribute over both terms. And here I have 8 times 2n plus 2 minus 40 equals 10n plus 30. Distribute over here, I've got 16n plus 16 minus 40 equals 10n plus 30. Combine these like terms. 40 minus 16 is 24, and that will be a negative. 16n minus 24 equals 10n plus 30. If I add 24 to both sides, and if I subtract 10n from both sides, I'm going to get 6n equals 54. Divide by 6. N would be equal to 9. So my answer would be 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good job. I'll see you back next time for lesson 77, where we'll take up a little bit more about consecutive integers.